Jen, maybe just let's start off, if you could, by giving us an overview of what this new government actually looks like.
Right, Joumanna, I think investors are really paying attention closely to what we'll hear from the president today during the inauguration. But then, of course, the key focus is going to be what the cabinet looks like, right? And of course, we've talked about how this is the first time in 30 years that the ANC, the previously ruling ANC, lost its majority. And so we're likely to see some of the top positions then being shared by some other parties, namely the Democratic Alliance, which many people call pro-business, somewhat centrist, and also potentially the IFP, which is another party that the investors were likely more bullish and supportive of going into this election. And so the key focus will be, what does the cabinet look like? There's been some discussions about potentially the ANC giving up defense positions, potentially international relation positions, and of course, most importantly, maybe economic positions and how that affects the economic trajectory of the economy, and the continuity that we have seen from the previous administration is going to be of key focus. And so we'll wait to hear from him after his inauguration.
And let's talk about the market impact, because there was a lot of concern going into and out of the elections about what this new government would look like, the potential to partner up with some not market-friendly parties. That doesn't appear to be the case. Right. So what are investors saying about this new government?
Exactly. We got a note on Tuesday, Joumanna, from S&P Global Ratings Agency, and they're saying that this outcome is broadly favorable, especially when we look at the economic and the fiscal policy implications of this outcome. Now, of course, as I mentioned, we still don't know what the cabinet is going to look like. But if you take a look at just market reaction since we saw Ramaphosa reelected on Friday, that is an indication potentially of investor sentiment changing, of course, post-election. So you mentioned the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. It was actually the best performing emerging market stock index on Tuesday, tracked, and that's compared to 90 plus other benchmark indexes that we're tracking here on Bloomberg. We're also seeing the rand really strengthening, which we hadn't seen prior to the election. We're also seeing South African local bonds doing quite well. And so, really what it's looking like is investors are definitely feeling a little bit more optimistic about what the potential implications are of this new government of national unity. But what will be key to this strengthening continuing for something like the rand, and also for local stocks, is the policy continuity and also reforms being accelerated from what we saw from the previous administration.